Good morning, Columbus, and welcome to another rendition of Hump Day Trivia. My name's Curtis, and I will be your host. Today's topic was inspired by some of our employees' return to the workshop this week, and they are huge Pittsburgh fans. So I figured today, why not honor them and test their knowledge of all things Pittsburgh. So it's time to test your skills and knowledge on Pittsburgh sports. So exciting! I can't wait. So let's start with a warm up question. Professional football in Pittsburgh was first founded in 1933 by. It was amazing that those guys played with so little gear back in the day. They sure had fun doing it, though. So, who founded professional football in Pittsburgh? Give you 10 more seconds. 9, 6, 3. Arthur J. Rooney. He originally named them the Pittsburgh Pirates, at least until 1940. All right, obscure question of the day. Not that my trivia is always obscure, anyways. So, which dance company started in Pittsburgh and grew to fame through an unscripted series on the Lifetime Network? My kids wanted me to put this one in here. Living on the dance floor.
You just give it away.
No, I didn't give it away. As you can tell, we've watched the series here in this house. My daughter is an accomplished dancer, just kind of going through dance studio withdrawals. So, which company started in Pittsburgh and grew to fame through an unscripted series on the Lifetime Network? Couple more seconds. Excuse me. The Abby Lee Dance Company. Yes, the hit show Dance Moms. There's her studio.
It's too crazy.
Way to go, Mike. I knew you watched it too. All right. So, are you ready for the real trivia? Whoop, whoop. I know I am.
That's good enough for you.
You don't have to jump in on everything I say. So, in the 1930s, which legendary Negro League team included five future Baseball Hall of Famers? I love historical sports stuff, and I thoroughly enjoyed reading up on this one. It was amazing the struggles that many people had back in the day, and some of them still, um, they succeeded. They continued to advocate for their passions and their dreams, and that's something we like to do here at Goodwill as well. Um, and the, you know, I can't imagine the discrimination and everything that they went through, but they didn't give up and they continued playing a game that they loved, and which led them into future careers. It's just they broke down barriers for generations to come. So in the 1930s, which legendary Negro League team included five future Baseball Hall of Famers? The Pittsburgh Crawfords. So the 32 and 35 Crawfords may have been two of the best teams ever assembled. Hall of Famers included a player manager, Oscar Charleston, who was inducted in 76, Josh Gibson, inducted 72, Judy Johnson in 75, Cool Papa Bell in 74, and Satchel Paige, inducted in 1971. And he also helped pitch Cleveland Indians to the 1948 pennant in his first big league year. Amazing. So number 9, which team has won 9 National Football Championships? Hmm. Which team has won 9 National Football Championships? I'll tell you, it's been a while since their last one. I think maybe I was a year old the last time they won a National Football Championship. I would have thought this one would have been easy considering the topic we're talking about. Pitt, yes, there you go, Mike. University of Pittsburgh. Their first three titles came in 1915, 16, and 18 under Glenn Pop Warner. The next five were led by legendary John Bain Jock Sutherland. And his claim to fame is in 1937, his team ranked best in the land in vanquished opponents Penn State, Notre Dame, Nebraska, Wisconsin, and West Virginia. Those are some heavy hitters even still today. The last came in 1976 under coach Johnny Majors, which is, just 5 seasons after a stunning 1 in 10 season. That's a pretty good accomplishment, even by today's standards, to take a team from 1 in 10 within 5 years and turn them in the national championships. That's very hard to do these days. A lot of times, most coaches get fired after 3 seasons if they don't turn their teams around. All right. Which born and trained Pittsburgh native was the first local to reach the NHL in 2003? I thought of you, Mike, when I did this one. I know you're the hockey enthusiast, which also, when I was researching this one, led me to another Pittsburgh-born NHL player. So, which born and trained Pittsburgh native was the first local to reach the NHL in 2003? What? NHL players actually come from America and not Canada or Eastern European countries? Yeah, we do have some talent here in the States. It's rare, but we do. I know Mike's probably Googling this right now. Three, two, one. Upper St. Clair native Ryan Malone. Saeed. Well, That could be it. Uh, so Ryan Malone, he debuted with the Penguins in 2003. Uh, he tallied 87 goals and 82 assists in 299 regular season games with the Penguins between 2003 and '08. Played in 25 postseason games. He won a silver medal with Team USA at the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver. Oh, I was so frustrated watching that game. Oh, man. Canada came out on top, saved by their goalie. Let's see. He helped Tampa Bay reach the Eastern Conference Finals in the 2011 postseason. And the thing that surprised me is when I was doing this up that he was only 1 point under Columbus fan favorite R.J. Umberger, who was another Pittsburgh native for lifetime goals. R.J. had 180, Ryan had 179. Yes, you are correct, Mike. All right, number 7. What is the name of the small town outside of Pittsburgh where Terrence Tuffy Schallenberger is from? And there's also bonus points on this one if you know which sport he is involved with. Terrence Tuffy Schallenberger. Everybody calls him Tuffy. Schallenbergers actually have a rich family history in this town just outside of Pittsburgh. So, what is the name of the small town outside of Pittsburgh where Terrence Tuffy Schallenberger is from? Nothing. Oh, well, at least you're honest. Connellsville, Pennsylvania. So, in its heyday during the 1900s, Connellsville was a powerhouse for coal mining. It was once home to more millionaires per capita than any other place in the country. It's the home of Schallenberger Construction. They do development work necessary for energy companies to tap natural gas, um, which they have a huge uh, natural gas reserve in that area that they've been working on. So there's the area is becoming revitalized. The bonus answer: Tuffy is the majority owner of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, a third-tier professional soccer team he acquired in 2013, and it is affiliated with the Major League Soccer team, the Houston Dynamo. So on April 15th, 1876, which team brought professional baseball to Pittsburgh? April 15th, 1876. Well, baseball has been a huge sport in this country for many, many years. Um, I actually didn't really understand a lot of the history behind it, and I missed out on some great opportunities. Um, I had lived in Pittsfield, Massachusetts for several years, and they have one of the oldest uh, ballparks still around. It was built in the late 1800s, and it had a wooden grandstand that was built in the early 1900s. Um, so it's a very rich area there. But in Pittsburgh, which team brought professional baseball to Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh Alleghenies. All right. They played their first game at Union Park. In 1877, the Alleghenies were accepted into the Minor League International Association but disbanded the following year. They returned in 1882 for good and joined the American Association until 1890 and then joined the National League. So in 1891, they signed Louis Bierbauer, a second baseman with Brooklyn, and Pittsburgh was accused of pirating Bierbauer. They ended up keeping Bierbauer and the nickname because and became known as the Pirates thereafter. Hey, way to go, Mike. My phone was acting up. I even missed that one. So, which Pittsburgh native was on the 2016 U.S. Olympic swim team, winning gold in the 4x200 meter freestyle relay and bronze in the 400-meter freestyle? True fact. My older brother was a competitive swimmer in high school and a little bit in college. He did actually coach, successfully coach a small Division III high school up in Northeast Ohio. Coached their swim team and had some good swimmers. I was never really the competitive one. I swam more like a manatee. So, which Pittsburgh native was on the 2016 U.S. Olympic swim team? It takes a lot of training to be on the Olympics. No, I don't have the discipline for that. Lochte. Well, at least you didn't say Michael Phelps. He would have been somebody that, is more famous, but Lochte, I just remember the scandal on the last Olympics he had. No, it is not Ryan Lochte. Don't ask me why I know his first name. 5 more seconds. Any more guesses? Can't let Mike have all the fun. You guys got to be able to chime in here. Leah Smith, right there in the bottom right hand corner. No, not the old guy in the photo. She was born in 1995 in Pittsburgh. She attended Oakland Catholic High School, graduating in 2013. She attended the University of Virginia while preparing for the Olympics. And her grandfather was Jimmy Lawrence Smith, who won the World Series with the Cincinnati Reds in 1919. That is the picture of the old guy. Thought that was kind of unique fact about her. Yes, Michael, from the women's team. I know I didn't specify gender. Number four, he is ranked number 18 on the 50 most influential people in action sports list. Hmm. Action sports. I wonder what they think, what they mean by action sports. For me, an action sport is getting up off my easy chair and going in the kitchen to get a snack. I actually enjoy watching the X Games when I had cable back in the day. You can see some very awesome stunts, and it's just for me very and just draws your attention in. It's amazing that I can ride a bicycle, but there's no way that I would ever be able to do the flips and twists and turns and ollie oops, and wait, that's skating. But anyways, um, the tricks that those guys do are just amazing, and just the free spirit that they have and desire to do that. This gentleman is ranked number 18 on the 50 most influential people in action sports list, which also includes people like Shaun White, Tony Hawk, and those are the only two names that I remember from the list as being the most notable ones. But this guy is from Pittsburgh. 5 more seconds. Andy McDonald. Looked it up to make sure. Nope. Yeah, I think he is on the list. Tom Wallish. He was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He grew up skiing weekends where he would build and hit jumps on the Bunny Hill. He moved to Utah in 2006 and started competing in major contests. One of the most electrifying slopestyle skiers in the game. He has won 2 gold and 1 silver at the X Game medals at the X Game. He holds the world record for longest rail grind on skis. The previous record was 241 feet. Tom's record grind was 440 feet. To put that in perspective, a football field is only 360 feet long. And I know you're asking, I thought a football field was only 100 yards. Well, you are correct, but you are forgetting the end zones, which are both 15 yards deep. So that's where the extra 60 feet come into play. I have never tried skiing. I can't imagine strapping a couple sticks down on my feet and sliding down a hill of snow. I would probably smack a tree or fall off a cliff or take a bunch of people with me. Who knows? Once you get this big body moving, it's hard to stop it. Momentum just takes over, and gravity is not my friend. Shut up. My daughter's harassing me. All right, number three. This individual was on the Paralympic sled hockey team that traveled to Sochi, Russia, in March of 2014 to compete in the Paralympic Games. Mike, you better get this one. It's hockey related. But it's sled hockey related. Yes, but it's part of the hockey sport. I would really love if we could, when times improve and we don't have to social distance as much, I would love to try a sled hockey outing with our clients here at Goodwill. I think that would just be awesome. I'll have to do some research to see if we've got a sled hockey team here in Columbus. This individual was on the Paralympic sled hockey team that traveled to Sochi, Russia in March of 2014 to compete in the Paralympic Games. I hate it when my phone doesn't scroll up when I'm trying to read the comments. Some 11-year-old land a 1080 and broke. I saw that. It was one of the news headlines on when I was doing my research last night, Mike, on the kid breaking Tony Hawk's 900 record. So I think those events where you can try it out. We will definitely have to look into that. Maybe get a TCE versus WCS uh, sled hockey event. I think that would be kind of nice. Of course, it would probably. Um, Never mind. I'll keep that thought to myself. Daniel McCoy. He was a 2012 graduate of Fox Chapel High School and 2017 graduate of the University of Pittsburgh. He was born with spina bifida and hydrocephalus. He began playing sled hockey at the age of 6. I can't imagine doing anything at the age of 6 other than tormenting my older brother and getting hurt, scraping my knees. Um, at the age of 16, he was selected to the U.S. men's national sled hockey team. At 16, folks, on the men's national sled hockey team. Team USA beat Russia for the gold medal in sled hockey during the 2014 Paralympics in Sochi, of which Daniel was a member. And he is currently the captain of the Pittsburgh Mighty Penguins adult sled team. Amazing. Hey, you can do whatever you want to do, put your mind to. All right, number two. Who was the only professional basketball team to call Pittsburgh home? I think Pittsburgh takes the basketball like Columbus does. Professionally speaking, we've got the Cleveland Cavaliers to the north, and Pittsburgh has the Sixers to the east. But as big as sports enthusiasts as we are, we just don't have a professional basketball team. But Pittsburgh used to have one. Who were they? 5 more seconds. Who was the only professional basketball team to call Pittsburgh home? Oh, Mike, you got it half right. I'll give you a half a point for knowing the name of the league. It was the Pittsburgh Condors. So they were a member of the American Basketball Association, the ABA, as Mike commented. Their inaugural season was 1967 to 68 as the Pittsburgh Pipers. Attendance was so low that the owner took the team and moved them to Minnesota for the 68 to 69 team, and this infuriated what little fans they had in Pittsburgh. Uh, One thing that the owner didn't count on was the attendance was even worse in Minnesota, and he then moved the team back to Pittsburgh for the 69 to 70 season. The team continued to play horribly, and attendance was even lower due to the fans still being mad about the move. That the owners sold the team. The new owners changed the name to the Pittsburgh Condors, but after the that's a long 2 year season, huh? They owned the team from 70 to 72, and then after the 72 season, the ABA gave up hope and closed the league down. They transferred some of the players to other minor leagues, I guess you would call them, and a few were able to transition into the NBA. I just thought it should have said Pittsburgh Pisces. Oh my goodness. I really chuckled out loud when I was reading up the history on this one and the fact that, you know, I kind of remember when Art Modell moved the Browns to Baltimore and the outcry and all the hurt feelings. And I can just imagine that if he had moved them back the following season, how miserable things would have been. But the Pittsburgh Condors, what a tragic, tragic event in Pittsburgh sports. All right, number one. How many former Pittsburgh Pirates played in the Little League Baseball World Series? Mike, I think you're a baseball person too. You might be able to get this one. How many former Pittsburgh Pirates played in the Little League Baseball World Series? And when they say World Series, they mean World Series. There are Little League teams all around the world, and they compete to see who is the best Little League baseball team in the world. There is a lot of talent around the world that's playing baseball. Something that I could never. I like to play it for fun, but you give me a fastball, I'm backing out of that box because I was hit one too many times. You know, the first person to give me a black eye in baseball? Myself. My dad was playing catch with me, and he threw a pop fly up for me to practice, and I missed it, and it hit me in the eye. It was my own fault because I wasn't following the ball. Happened again a couple weeks later. So then I had two black eyes. And after that, I was mad and stopped playing catch with my dad because I blamed him. But really, I was the one holding the glove. How many former Pittsburgh Pirates played in the Little League Baseball World Series? 5 more seconds. 8 total. Jason Bay, he played in the World Series in 90, and he was with Pittsburgh from '03 to '08. Derek Bell played in two World Series, 80 and 81, and he was in Pittsburgh in '01. Jeff Clement played in the 96 World Series and was with Pittsburgh in 2010 and 2012. Charlie Hayes, he was in the '77 World Series and played in Pittsburgh in '96. He had a nice long career. Um, Lloyd McClendon, he was in the '71 World Series and he played for Pittsburgh from '90 to '94. Lasting Millage did the '97 World Series and he was in Pittsburgh from '09 to '10. Max Moroff was in the '05 World Series and he was in Pittsburgh from 2016 to 2018. And Carl Taylor, the oldest one on the list, he was in the '54 Little League World Series and he played for Pittsburgh for 68, 79, or 68, 69, and 71. All right, bonus question. This is only for bragging rights. Which two NFL teams have more Hall of Fame inductees than the Pittsburgh Steelers? I take a lot of heat at work for being a Dallas Cowboys fan, and I'm okay with that. I'm not a fair weather fan. I've been rooting for them for as long as I can remember through thick and thin. There's our I work with a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans. And yes, they have 6 Super Bowl rings. They've got more Hall of Fame inductees than the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, they've had two back-to-back Super Bowl wins. And there's a lot to claim to fame for them in football. So I saw this and I couldn't resist putting this in as a bonus question to show that they're not the top of all the categories. There's actually two NFL teams that have more Hall of Fame inductees than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Interesting personal fact, I grew up a half hour away from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Been to it a few times. Actually been to the stadium next to it, Fawcett. I think it's called something different now. I haven't been to it since they remodeled it. Yes, the Bears are one. Who was the other one? Think oldest teams. Bears, the Chicago Bears is the oldest NFL team, so of course they are going to have more Hall of Fame inductees than anyone. There's another older team that has a lot as well. I'll give you 5 more seconds before I pack it up. 3, 2, 1. Green Bay Packers have 25, and the Chicago Bears have 28. And the Pittsburgh Steelers only have 21. Wah, wah, wah. It is fair to note, though, that the 85 Chicago Bears team has, I believe, 5 inductees out of their team alone. So that's a lot from a single season football. Granted, they weren't all at the same year, but yeah, it's just an amazing team. We don't speak of that team. Oh, I know. Cheeseheads, they're there. They're in the division, the same division as my Cowboys. They're just one of those things that we play. All right. Thank you, everyone, for playing along, or just mainly thank you, Mike. I hope anyone who tunes in later enjoys this trivia. Next week, our theme is going to be muscle cars, American muscle cars more specifically. I thought I would change it up a bit. I know I've already done, this is my second sports trivia. Um, but next week, our Hump Day trivia is going to be about American muscle cars. So you have 6 days to brush up on that topic, and I will see you guys later.